Yo, what is up, nerds? Hopefully, no computer issues today. Let's bring the music down. Oh, that's a computer issue. Did we crash? Are we okay? Are the streams fine? I thought I crashed for a second. Okay, we're back. We're back. Streaming to so many platforms is not actually working out for me, or maybe it's just Pump Fun, because we need to have the Pump Fun website open in the background apparently, and having that is really fucking with my shit. Anyways, let me just close that. Let me bring this here. And how's everyone doing? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful Tuesday, September 9th. I was under the idea that Klarna IPO is today. No, it's actually September 10th. That's tomorrow. So still got one more day before the Klarna IPO. But boy, oh boy, our stock's going crazy. You had another, was it 1,000% mover? QMMM? At least in the multi 100% movers. Yes, it is 1,000% mover. QMM 1,000% mover. You had Octo yesterday. Small cap stocks are just going nuts and blowing people out. If you have China in your name, even more of a reason to just really stay away from those names to trade for the short side at the very least. But maybe time to learn the long side, because some of these stocks are going insane to the upside. One of my buddies that I trade with had one, not a record day, but pretty close to a record day today. So shout out to him. You know, people are making insane amounts of money right now on the market. Even my dad was able to, you know, get long QMMM and capitalize on it and profit on it too. So shout out to my pops over there. He also apparently profited on OCTO last night. So shout out to pops on that one. But yeah, market is absolutely crazy at the moment. Today's show, we are going to take a look at earnings. Some of the hot movers on the day, like QMM and other stocks out there that have been moving around today, and look for possible trade ideas that we could take advantage tomorrow. So if you have any stocks that you want me to take a look at, feel free to throw it in the chat. We are streaming on multiple platforms at the moment. Yeah, look at that. As soon as I closed Pump Fun website, you know, I'm not lagging as much anymore. So that website honestly is taking a lot of resources. Where is that website? Are we still streaming? We are streaming on there, but having that website open is just taking a lot of resources, because that website was not designed properly, I guess. Anyways, not your problem, it's a problem for me. We're gonna have to go to full screen now so we can talk about all the fun movers on the day. Let's dive in. I was scared for a second that my animation didn't play out. Let me close Steam, exit Steam. We don't need that bad boy. What else do we not need? Okay, that's pretty much it. Let's bring in the earnings calendar first, show you guys what's on the earnings board. We actually have a lot more names than just Oracle and GameStop. You have ABAV, Synopsys, Rubrik, and then tomorrow pre-market Chewy. All of which are on the watch list for us to prepare for. On top of that, I did do a little bit of work and already scout through CNBC watch list, and I scouted through the hot movers on the day, and I made us a nice little watch list to prepare for. So here are the names from that list. If anyone wants me to, as mentioned earlier, put any other extra names on the board, feel free to throw it in the chat. Talking about the chat, let's see who's in the chat today. We got TH, John Vaughn's in the house, and Damien Oliveras. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Oliveras? Damien, I'm just gonna say Damien. How you doing, Damien? What's going on, Pratt? I'm good, brother. You know, keep on swimming. That's all you can do. Keep on swimming. Apple had its event today, iPhone event today. They announced the new AirPods. They announced the new iPhone version, iPhone Air. Don't they have a MacBook Air? So they just basically just gave the same name from a laptop to to a phone. I guess they're trying to stick with the idea that, you know, you have the MacBook, which is the beefy, then you have the MacBook Air, which is not as beefy but still equally good. And the whole idea with iPhone 17 Air is to showcase that, you know, this is not as powerful as the normal iPhone, but maybe still powerful enough and in the lower price point area. I'm guessing that's what the Air stands for. I'm not an Apple guy. I've never owned a single Apple product in my life. So, you know, I can't tell you. That's a lie. I actually did own Apple laptops that were given to me by previous employers. But besides that, I never actually owned any Apple products. So, look at me. I'm a strict anti-Apple guy. Overall, though, their shares today, during the event, were actually having a pretty good climb. And then after the event, they got smoked. After the event, stock pushed right back to the downside. Not how you wanted to move, actually. It is what it is. You can't do anything about it. I currently do own some shares of Apple, so watching this push back down that way is a little disheartening, but still above the anchored VWAP from the day that the Gemini partnership or Google partnership got announced. So still above the anchored VWAP, still above the 21-day moving average, and the 50-day moving average is about to give you the golden cross very soon. So a couple things to keep an eye out for about the Apple event that took place today. I actually stopped watching the Apple event halfway through, or a lot earlier than halfway through. I thought the event was boring. It was putting me to sleep. So I just said, you know, I'll stop watching it and I'll deal with it when what is it? After my stream where I get to watch a quick little review video about it. But I was watching Apple during the conference or during the event where they were showcasing their latest voice translation language capabilities in their headphones. So right after that came into play, Duolingo got slapped to the downside. Last time Duolingo made a move like this to the downside was also on a similar catalyst. That was when ChatGPT was showcasing how easy it is to create a game to learn different languages with the help of ChatGPT, basically showing you that you don't need to pay for Duolingo anymore. If you want to learn language, you can just go in and quickly make a software through ChatGPT and bop. What's the point of paying for Duolingo at that point, right? So Duolingo took a little bit of a beating because of the Apple event today, in the same sense, because hey, why do I need to even learn to use ChatGPT to learn a language when I can just simply pop in these headphones, and these headphones are live translating language from English to Spanish, from Hindi to French, live translating languages for you, and you know, you have no need at that point to really go out there and learn anymore, right? Not the best way to think about it. You always want to go out there and learn new things, but with technology, with AI, this is actually part of the reason why people were worried about AI, thinking that AI capabilities are going to dumb down humans. You know, previously humans were able to learn multiple languages. They had to learn multiple languages. They didn't have AI tools at their disposal translating for them on the fly. So if they had to do business deals, they had to learn new languages. But now, you don't need to learn new language. You know, if you need to go make a deal with someone in China, you can just open up ChatGPT or something like that. Granted, Chinese internet problems, but you can just open up an AI tool quickly, Google or something, and then have it translate for you. So things like that are going to help you in one way, but also ruin humanity in the other way. Always want to be looking to learn, always want to be wanting to expand your database, not get dumber because AI tools are allowing you to do so. Let's start with some of the stocks that we want to keep an eye on with earnings for tomorrow, and that is, where the hell did I bring down the music at all? If the music's too loud, chat, please do let me know and we can fix that. Bringing back to the earnings board. At the top of the board we have Oracle today reporting earnings. So for that, let me actually bring in the Benzinga Pro screen. Hopefully the Benzinga Pro screen actually loaded up. It did load up, but boy oh boy, that's so distorted for some reason. Hopefully I'll be able to fix that. So this is basically the earnings board today. Stocks that reported today pre-market or today after hours. Maybe if we just filter here for the ones that report after hours, because that's mainly the ones we care for. That's going to be Synopsys, Rubrik. Looks like both of them actually pushed to the downside. Whereas AV also pushing to the downside, and the main one, Oracle. GME pushed up a little bit in the after hours, looks like, but Oracle also pushing up. Let's quickly go to my news feed and pull up Oracle earnings report and read about it. Where is it? This should be it. Oracle released its first quarter results after Tuesday closing bell. Here's a report: 1.47 versus 1.48. They missed by 1 penny, so I guess you could say in line. Quarterly revenue came in at 14.92 versus 15.03. They missed over there too. However, revenue is up from same period last year. Revenue is also very much in line. They were expecting 15 billion. They basically got a little bit shy off 15 billion, but almost 1 full billion or more than that, actually coming in on a growth. So growing on a year-to-year side. Is it year-to-year? Yes, year-to-year side. Multi-cloud database revenue from Amazon, Google, Microsoft grew at an incredible rate at 1,529% on the quarter. That's a big number. We expect multi-cloud revenue to grow substantially every quarter for several years as we deliver another 37 data centers to our 3 hyperscale partners for a total of 71. Q1 cloud revenue up 27%, Q1 cloud infrastructure up 54%, cloud application, that's software as a SaaS, up 10%, Fusion Cloud ERP up 16%, NetSuite up 15%. All looking good on a year-to-year side. We signed 4-year multi-billion-dollar contracts with 3 different customers in the first quarter. That's looking good. Wait, Larry Ellison is not the CEO? He's the CTO now? That's funny. Pretty sure Larry Ellison founded Oracle, but now he's a CTO and the CEO is somebody else. I guess, he wasn't doing a good job, so he stepped down. This resulted in an RPO contract backlog increasing 359% to 455 billion, looking good. Even though they missed or were in line, numbers are looking good over here, and looks like the stock pumped up. What? Pumped up 22% after hours? That's a stick. That's a big stick. As a bit of an overview, do we have any outlooks? I don't see any outlooks at the moment. Is this it? Yeah, this is the outlook. Could grow to 77% to 18 billion in the fiscal year. That's looking good. 32 billion, 73 billion, 114 billion, and 144 billion over the next 4 years. That is amazing. And the stock, even though inline growth, they are inline miss/inline report compared to the estimates for the current quarter. The next few quarters, the next full year, for the next 4 years, they're estimating a lot of growth coming in. So Oracle is looking great, and a 22% bump up from here, basically a new all-time high, right? Yeah, but new all-time high into $300. This is your AI sector, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching AI stocks like NBIS yesterday blast off to the north side. Today you got Oracle blasting, and actually if you pulled up to my stream yesterday, NBIS played out picture perfectly to my call out. We said look for the pullback into the gap close, and then you buy the gap close. How did it play out? It played out picture perfectly. Pulled back into the gap close here. This is your long entry somewhere in this area. You push the long here, your stop is at the low of this area, and then look at the move to VWAP. Free VWAP move. You can call this a backside scalp almost. You have a double bottom and then a backside scalp. And then right around this area, you have the fashionably late scalp on the 5-minute chart. Usually it's the 1-minute chart that you use the fashionably late trade. Either way, If you use it on the 1 minute, which was much earlier, or you use it on the 5 minute, which is right around here, you never get stopped out because the stop is supposed to be $2 from VWAP, so you never get stopped out, and you actually end up getting the move right back to days open near $97, so almost $10 per share for risking about $1, $9 per share depending on your entry. I think you should have entered somewhere around 88, 88.50, and your stop would have been 86, so risking about $1.50 for a move up to 97, 98. So pretty awesome trade over there off of the earnings catalyst. What is it? Sorry, not earnings, off the news catalyst on NBIS. Now you have Oracle on the earnings catalyst doing something similar. You have another AI infrastructure, big AI infrastructure name moving to the north side, basically showing you that the demand for AI, the money that people are spending for the AI sector is just nowhere close to being done. We're still growing by what, 1,000% over there for the multi-cloud database revenue for Oracle. That's insane. This is not a small cap company. That it makes sense that they're still growing by 1,000%. This is one of the most legacy of the legacy companies, probably older than me, honestly. Let's go check out how old this is. Probably older than TH's boomer ass. I don't know how old TH is. TH is probably older than this company, let's be real. TH, how old are you actually? Are you older than 1987 or not? So Oracle, pretty goddamn old. You know, I'm 1994, so I'm right here, and this stock is almost 10 years older than me. Company or the stock, the company's probably even more older, right? So legacy name, is it a $1 trillion company? Sorry, billion. There's no $1 trillion company yet. $1 billion company. No, they are $1 trillion companies. Isn't Apple in the trillion? What am I saying? Yeah, Apple's in the trillion, right? Yeah, Apple, Microsoft are in the trillion. There's no trillion trader, but there are trillion companies. Oracle in the $1 billion evaluation, trying to climb into the $1 trillion evaluation, only 400 billion away from it. Only 400 billion. $300 new all-time high. It's a pretty big stick, honestly. So looking long on this name is going to be very hard tomorrow around the $300 area, unless we get a pullback. I need to see a pullback somewhere around VWAP, right around maybe 2. T8 says he is older than Oracle. I was around before Oracle even existed, like a company or the stock. When did Oracle, the company, get established? That's probably crazy. If you're older than that, that's crazy. In those days, we used to carry pigeons. What are you used to send carrier pigeons to Neil? You and Neil used to send carrier pigeons to each other. I love it. I love it. Oracle, man, what a great move. 22% for a boomer name. I mean, you can't really ask for much from here. I mean, this is going to save Nvidia. This is going to save, look at Nvidia in the after hours over here. This is going to take the QQQ market back to the upside. Sadly, Apple did make a push down into the event, but this is just something that I've seen a lot during events on Apple. They get flushed out. They go up first, then after the event they get flushed out. Eventually they'll go back up. Right now they're holding still the anchored VWAP from the Google News. So as long as they hold that 235, 230 area, I'm still okay with holding my position on Oracle. Currently not really continuing to make an ascent. Looks like the ascent has stopped. Now is just cooling off its engines. Either it's going to figure out if there's more upside to be had into 8 o'clock today, or if there is no more upside to be had and we have to wait till tomorrow to figure out what's exactly is going on Oracle. GME, another name that reported earnings today. Let's quickly pull up Benzinga again and check out what GME's report is here real quick. What is your report? Reported 25 cents per share versus 16 cents. That's a pretty big beat. Growing about 2,400% from 1 cent per share same period last year EPS. So nice beat over there. Company reported quarterly sales of 972 million, which beat the estimates by 18%. This is a 21% increase. Not bad, GME. Not bad at all. To be honest, I was making fun of GME today. I was saying maybe today is the day GME finally squeezes to the north side. You know, just making fun of all the bag holders in GME. Everyone who thought GME was going to go to $1 million and think that GME was going to be the stock that revolutionizes the stock market completely. And it didn't end up playing that way. Give me a second, guys. You guys hear this? Maybe not. Maybe you guys don't hear it. Okay, good. Hopefully you guys don't hear it. Fucking dog is going crazy. Ah, this dog. I can't speak when this dog's barking. It pisses me off. Okay, GME. Monster beat on both EPS and revenue, growing surprisingly enough, and it is 21%, 22% beat from same period last year. So this $25 area, you can see how there's a pretty good consolidation right around $25. If we start peaking back above 25 and holding above 25, you do have the 200-day moving average at 26, so that's another problem right there. So you know, ideally the stock trades between 25 to 26. You're able to get long on the dips into 25. You're able to take profits on the pops into 26, and then later on maybe it actually manages to get above 26 and keep on rallying. So that's the idea over here on GME. But if tomorrow, if it's not already above 26, then you're wondering, you know, you're asking, hey, what's going on? Well, why is this stock not above 25 on the positive earnings report? Why is it not breaking back above the 200-day moving average? This pattern has actually, when stocks report good earnings report like this, when a stock makes a nice little consolidation below the 200-day moving average in the similar manner as GME has, after a report like that, they manage to actually break back above the 200-day and trade above it. So the fact that GME is not doing that kind of throws up like a smoke signal over there. You know, you need to be worried a little bit. So 25 to 26 is a little bit of a resistance pocket, but finding buyers at 25 would make this trade for the long side much better. If you want to short it, look for pops into 26 and then the stock getting slammed, and also look for 25 to not hold on the bid, so that way you can ride it back to the downside. If 25 doesn't hold in the pre-market to begin with, then that's your short. You got a very easy gap fill from 25 to back to the downside. But those are the type of trades that I don't really like to trade, you know, back into previous ranges. I'm not interested in this little pocket of a trade. Not saying that there isn't good money to be made in this pocket. There's actually very good money to be made in this pocket, risking very little. If you're short 24.80, you're basically risking a move back above 25 and any staying power above 25. But you know, you're basically risking 20 cents, but the move back to the gap fill is way more than 20 cents. So the trade risk to reward is there. I just don't think the volume, the relative volume and the importance for the trade here is as important as the trade over here. So this way you can short it over here and then short it back through 25, or you can get long at 25 and then get out at 26 and then take the breakout at 26. This pocket is way more interesting to me than this pocket. It's just how I like to trade, right? There's no right way or wrong way to trade. There's a million ways to skin a cat. but this is how I like to skin my cat. All right, Oracle, I did not put any levels in my watch list, so let's quickly go back to Oracle for a second. That's the previous all-time high. Fucking Coco, shut up! I don't think we get a move back to the previous all-time high at all. The earnings anchored VWAP is right around 280. It's exactly $280. So expecting 280 to act as a solid inflection level on the pullback, and then you have the $300 barrier to the upside. It says 297. 65 at the moment, which is the after hour all-time high. I'm just gonna round it up to 300. It's just nice and easy 300, and then you maybe below the support area. I should be ready to see what the last all-time high was. So that was what, 260. Last all-time high was 261, 260 or so. So I'm just gonna put that pocket on watch, mainly because that's how NBIS played out today, right? NBIS got up above its all-time high, pulled back for the gap close, found support, and then ripped back to the north side. I won't be surprised if Oracle does something very similar. So watching for a pullback to 260, but like I said earlier, you ideally don't want to see 260. If you are bullish off the earnings report, you know, when I read the report, I was like, wow, 1000% growth. This is insane. If you're bullish off a report like that, then you want to see the earnings VWAP, $280, finding buyers on the pullback. So that's a quick little idea. If 280 doesn't hold, I believe 260 will, but then your resistance turns into 280. So 300 no longer a resistance at that point. You might not even want to put 300 as a resistance area. Maybe you want to put 300 as a secondary inflection level, because we'll see how it plays out in pre-market. I think we go above 300 tomorrow. At least I'm praying, because I want to dip by, go above 300, and have a monster day on Oracle, just blasting off to the north side. Next stock on the board here from the earnings catalyst calendar is AVAV, a name that I have previously traded and capitalized on for the long. I think somewhere here took the long and monster moved to the upside off of that one. Looking to see how AVAV reported today. Wow, Benzinga does not want to give me a report here at all, and I'm not reading the goddamn full report. You're out of your mind. Let's read this real quick. What does that say? EPS 32 cents per share versus 34, so missed barely. Slight miss on the EPS estimates. Sales 454 versus 439. They actually beat on the sales side, not bad. Full year guidance 2.8 to 3 versus 3.6 to 3.7 versus estimate to 3.42. So estimates are closer to the higher end than the lower end, so that could be seen as a negative thing. And full year sales guidance 1.9 to 2 billion. You could have just said 2 billion and moved on, but whatever. Once again, estimates are closer to the high end than the low end of the range, so not really seen as a very bullish thing. These are more in line to negative sentiments for me, and I guess that kind of makes sense why AVAV originally pushed to the downside, but now AVAV actually showing up as a green because it is up actually 1% in the after hours. So you got a 1% pop, a complete V-shaped reversal here, back to the north side. Where did you bounce off of? 210? 220? You bounced right off of this area. Oh, okay, not bad. Nice little bounce off of that, reclaiming the previous all-time high, previous range support, recent support. So that's a pretty good indication. Now that after hour low, or this move here, basically looks like a failed breakdown, right? If you are a short seller, you basically got trapped on that move. If you started a new trade or if you added on that trade, you got trapped on this move. And the question will be, do we manage to get above today's high Yesterday's high, the most recent range high. Looks like volatility or liquidity is a little low on this name today. Last time liquidity was a lot better. This was like trading 5-6 million shares. Now it's only trading 1 million share again. So liquidity seems a lot lower than last time, but you know, it has reclaimed this low. So the fact that it's reclaimed that low is a good thing. You're basically watching now last week's high. If we get above last week's high somewhere around this area, that's Thursday. This is this week's high. So this week's high would be right here. That's Monday's high. If we do get above Monday's high, last week's high would be somewhere here. Right? No, that's last week. This would be last week. Last week's high would be somewhere here, and then this. Look how much resistance rooms it has to go test before we actually manage to maybe see a real long like this, right? So right now the stock is in this area, expecting something like this. Maybe you get a breakout of this for something like this, but I'm seeing more this playing out than this playing out. Maybe even you get something like this a little bit, which wouldn't be too bad, but that would mean the range is opening up, volatility is opening up, and if the volume doesn't open up too, then that's a very scary trade over there. So you want to be careful. Couple scenarios that I'm currently visualizing, picturing in my head as to how they could play out. If we get back below this low, I think, you know, expecting that 220 bottom where the stock bounced off of is a very reasonable expectation. So somewhere in this area, and then breaking down tomorrow, could be here, would be a trade setup to keep an eye on. But the liquidity doesn't look too good at the moment, so I'm just gonna give this one an orange, and I'm not gonna bother putting too many levels and so on in my notes other than that 220 area. What is this day's 221? Yeah, 220. So expecting 220 area to act as support. If 220 doesn't hold, then basically GG on that stock. And then that's 210. Oh, that's 204. Yeah, so if we get below that 220 area, I think 204, 200 is expectable. So something like this, breakdown for this, or a breakout for that. Okay. Next one, where's my watch list? We have SNPS. This is a high price stock, $500, $600 name. Ooh, down 14%. So it's a little bit of a lower price stock now. But the stock actually pulled right back into the 200-day moving average. The blue line is where the stock is trading at. And the purple or pink line, however you want to see. I'm a little colorblind when it comes to those colors. Purple, pink line, however you want to see that, is the 200-day moving average. So not expecting the stock to go below 200. It can, but maybe not tomorrow, right? That's a big drop over here for a big name. Again, another big giant in tech in the stock market. Let's pull in Benzinga to see how the report actually played out real quick. Okay, 3.39 versus 3.74, 1.73 versus 1.76. Same period last year, 1.52. So they missed, and they beat from same period last year. Transformational quarter against geological challenges. Okay, while I'm proud of how our team navigated, okay, the company lowered its, oh, that's a key terminology right there. Lowered its fiscal 2025 guidance from 15 to 15.19 to a new range of 12.76 to 12.8. That's a big drop. I mean, they're still making $13 a year, so it's not like, you know, they're going broke, but they were expected to make well above the estimates, maybe not well, but above the estimates, and now the stock is actually looking like it's going to lower their guidance and report a little bit lower than the estimate, a lot lower than the estimate. So that's actually taking the stock back to the downside, and now look at it drop below the 200-day moving average. This is also possibly having the conference call at the moment. So for that, we're gonna pull up our good friend Perplexity Finance. Shout out to Perplexity Finance. Right now you have live earnings call for Oracle, Synopsys, Rubrik, and AV, all four of the stocks that we want to take a look at. Since we're talking about Synopsys, let's quickly click here and see what's going on. Actively pivoting IP resources and roadmaps towards higher growth opportunities. So that's one of the reasons why they're taking a cautious outlook. Okay. Okay. So still going on. Obviously, only 15 minutes into the call. Usually these calls last about an hour or so. So the market, or stock, I mean, moving based off of that call. Here we go. We're below the 200-day moving average now, which makes it a little interesting. Slightly below the 200-day moving average. I think the main level for us right now would be the $500 area. If the stock manages to hold 500 in the after hours and then manages to hold 500 in the pre-market, there could be a long here for the intraday scalp. I want to quickly go check out my newest sponsor, Finviz, to go see what not this, I want the, where is it, I want charts. Oh, I want this. Where is it? We want, or was it Oracle? No, not Oracle. Synopsys, SNPS. What is SNPS PE ratio? Like that's not bad, chat. That's not a bad PE ratio. We're seeing stocks with 4,000 PE ratio IPO tomorrow. And guess what? They're still gonna fly to the upside. So this is not bad. So this is why when a stock like this drops into the 200-day moving average, it gets me a little excited for the day trade, because buyers usually step in on that. So 500, keep an eye on that one. RBRK, Rubrik. I'll be honest, I'm a little pissed off about Rubrik, because not only did I get stopped. Oh, okay, maybe I'm not pissed off. Okay, that's good. Because I got stopped out over here on that breakdown, and then ever since then, I've been kind of stocking it. And then right before the earnings day, 2 days before it, it breaks out to the, I shouldn't say breaks out, but it pops up into the breakout area. And then today, it actually looked like it was going to go. But you know what? I'm happy that it didn't go. Pull back, bitch. Because now I feel like I'm not wrong. Let's go. Still a name that obviously I want to be involved in. Oh, I had the screen open this whole time. Still a name I want to be involved in for the long trade, RBRK. But looks like the earnings report was a mixed report overall. Market didn't really appreciate what they had to say. So let's go check out. This time we're going to use our good friend, Perplexity Finance, even though they don't want to sponsor me. Let's go check out what the report is. They beat 48% on EPS, even though they lost money. They beat by 9% on, this is compared to the estimates, by the way. They beat by 9% on the revenue side. The call is going live right now, so let's see. Growing by 55% year over year, not bad at all. Number of customers, average recurring revenue up 27%, 100,000 plus customers. Improved by approximately 1,800 basis points year over year. That's a fucking good number. Why are we going down then? Rubrik is raising its outlook for the year, citing strong performance and significant opportunities in both cyber resilience market and enterprise AI acceleration, supported by recent innovations and acquisitions. That looks good to me. So I'm not sure why Rubrik is actually getting sold off. I'll be honest. That might give you a good trading opportunity if we manage to get back above today's high or somewhere around this area tomorrow. So if we reclaim in this area and look to make a charge back into $100, I think watching this name is not a bad call at all. And honestly, just watching these 4-5 names might be more than enough for the day trade. You don't need to watch a million names like I go through every single day. All you need is like 4 or 5 names, and then out of those 4 or 5 names, you come down to like 2 names that are doing the most volume, that are giving you good setups, and then just trade those. You don't need to catch them all like Pokemon, right? Just trade 1 or 2 stocks. But the point of this stream is to help you find those setups, help you find those stocks, and hopefully we all get to take advantage of it. Last but not least, in the earnings basket, you have Chewy reporting tomorrow pre-market, already making a run up after hours for some reason. Not sure why, but pre-market, we'll see if the stock gets active. That right there is the level on watch for me. 43.80 to 44 area. 43.80 to 44. If it gets above that in pre-market off the earnings report, I've seen Chewy go ballistic before, so I don't want to be missing out on that opportunity. Right above that, you have 48.50 as a resistance zone. When I put levels in, guys, it's never really to the exact penny. It's always, I rounded down to the nearest $half, and then it's always a zone. It's never to the line. It's always a zone around the area. Okay, just so if you're new to my streams. Let's go to CPRI and why I think CPRI is bound to fall in love. Whoever knows that song, shout out to you. Honey. Okay, CPRI. Do you have a high short float? A decent one, 9.99%. That's not bad. Insider ownership, only 2.6%. Institutional ownership, 99%. That's insane. That's insane. Market cap, 2.5 billion. Forward PE 12.79 and no PE at the moment. Okay, that's fine with me. I was hoping that you had a low PE like AEO. Does AEO have a low PE? It does, right? Okay, AEO, low PE. Right now, AEO is pulling back a little bit after testing, what is that? The 200-day moving average? Yes, the 200-day moving average. Pretty sure we're above the 200-day. What the fuck? That's not 200-day. Oh, that's the trend line. That's not the 200-day. I was like, where does this trend line come from? Ignore this trend line. And oh, I guess they're putting that high and this high together, and they're just making a trend line out of that. I see what you're doing, Finviz. Okay, I get it. Well above the 200-day moving average over here on AEO, and this started all because of Sydney Sweeney, right? And then now you have Sydney Sweeney on Instagram posting a new company, and it's Jimmy Choo. Jimmy Choo, Sydney Sweeney, Jimmy Choo, a new advertisement. My question is, why are you wearing cowboy boots when you're, doing yoga? Like, is this not yoga? Is this stretching? You're wearing cowboy boots when you're doing yoga? I guess they are promoting Jimmy Choo, which are shoes, right? Are Jimmy Choo shoes, chat? I could be. That makes a lot more sense now. I thought actually Jimmy Choo was the outfit that she was wearing, but the bodysuit that she was wearing, but maybe it's the shoes that she's showcasing, and the bodysuit is just there to provoke some male urges out of people, right? And female urges. But I get the idea what's going on now. So CPRI, no-brainer long coming into play. A decent short float, not as big as a short float as AEO had when that stock was going crazy, but still a decent short float for me to be interested, and the news catalyst is more than enough way more than enough. If this stock starts to get above 22 tomorrow in pre-market or even somewhere in the after hours, it's not doing that at the moment. Here's the run up it had when that catalyst came out. So right after that catalyst, you can see how the stock bottomed out at last month low and then ran up to that $22 area. So things could get spicy on this one. What makes this one better is also it's consolidating really well above the 200-day moving average. The 50-day moving average is about to cross the 200-day, or I guess it actually has crossed the 200-day, which means you have the golden crossover. So all things considered, I mean, this just looks like a awesome buy for the breakout into a move to 26, and then God knows how much more room does this have above it. Recently a positive earnings report. They haven't had a positive earnings report in a very long time. So positive earnings report, change of characteristics, reclaiming the 200-day moving average, potentially breaking 22 to go to 26, and then above 26 you can see how there's a big gap fill that we can play out all the way to $43 or so. Before that, there is this level here that might come into play, but a nice gap fill all the way to the upside that I would love to partake in, be part of, and so on. So CPRI on watch. Potentially American Eagle will see some profit taking because of CPRI. You know, anyone who was in American Eagle from here, they saw it go up and then basically stall out, didn't do a whole lot. For me, this is good stalling out. You're holding above the earnings anchored VWAP. You're holding above the halfway point of the earnings midday, halfway point of the earnings day. These are good things for me. But some people might get turned off by this and be like, hey, there's a new girl in town. Let me go ask her out, and then dump AEO. The what's it called? The Leo DiCaprio style. Right? AEO got too old for you, you dump AEO and you go to the nice younger girl CPRI, and then you dump her when she gets too old for you too. Right? CPRI looking very promising for us. Looking to see how this one sets up. I think AEO resistance is 19 or 20. What is it? 19. Yeah. So we already have that one on there. EPSM and QMM, I mean, these stocks went absolutely batshit wild today. I have no other explanation besides that, and already pulled back 50% to the downside. So as expected, you know, staircase up, elevator down, usually how they play out. This one's still above the $100, the other one's below $50. Where is Octo today? OCTO below the midpoint. Not bad, below the midpoint, but it also held the support line that we drew yesterday. Surprise, surprise, chat. Right? So surprise, surprise, it held that low. It got rejected from the midpoint area of yesterday. These are good things to have on your chart. There's a reason why I have these things on my chart, right? I'm not crazy. They're useful to me. Maybe they'll be useful to you too. Free alpha. Take it and go. Do with you as you please. So halfway point of that day is currently acting as a resistance, but yesterday's support around 33 still acting as support. So OCTO might not be done yet over here. And then you have two other stocks basically joining that madness. NBIS already talked about it a bunch, so really nothing else to talk about it. Ideally, you want to see the stock holding above 90 on every single dip, at which point, you know, it shows you that, yes, this is an episodic pivot. This stock deserves to be much higher. So you want to see it holding above 90 on every dip. Not sure what the catalyst for Dell was. I don't remember what the catalyst was. I don't think it matters. A nothing burger move here at the end of the day. Dick's Sporting Goods, yeah, doesn't matter. KC, Kingsoft Cloud actually has a decent move on the day today. I think this was an upgrade of some sort. Again, I forget what the news is. But only thing that matters is, hey, what's the trade setup? And the trade setup over here on Kingsoft is if we hold above the 1650 high today, it's going to most likely have another day up. But tomorrow, I think a pullback to this midpoint area and then hold of this midpoint could give you a long back into 1650 or higher. So keep an eye out for this. I think 1550 was the midpoint. Yeah, 1550, possibly giving you a move to 1650 or higher. We'll see how that one sets up. Importance a little bit lower. UNH. UNH is so painful. I was long, I got stopped out, and look at the stock. I mean, how much would I have been up on this trade? 40%. I would have been up 40% on this trade. I was debating to get long in this area, but I was like, I don't know. And today, positive news catalyst. A lot of people that I know actually closed their UNH longs. Lance, Japez, Short Bear taking profits also, or maybe closing his UNH longs also. So a lot of people taking profits after trying to catch the bottom on UNH. Looks like they are winners and I'm not. In terms of the day trade, you know, this is a slower moving name, a boomer name. Volatility will die down tomorrow, volume will die down tomorrow, so just don't expect a big day like today tomorrow. That doesn't mean there's no trade, right? Watch for today's midpoint 340, today's VWAP coming into play, and if they do hold that area, you could find the day too long back into today's high and so on. So watching today's midpoint, watching today's VWAP on UNH to see if there's buyers over there. Okay, IREN looking like it wants to finally start going. After hours, we're actually above $30. This is a new all-time high now, so that makes it interesting. Nice bounce right off the 9-day moving average. So if anything, this one goes down to orange, and IREN goes up to purple. Purple being the most high priority name for me on the day. 30.50 is the previous high. So anywhere from $30 to $31 really. I would like to see support coming in on this name. If they're able to hold above 30, above 31 tomorrow, this stock could go absolutely batshit crazy. So watch out for that one. It has a 10% average daily range, ladies and gentlemen. So you know, this one you do not want to miss out on. I might even throw an order right now to buy some around 31 and put a stop at 30. Just to be safe, to lock in some position. I'm not gonna go crazy right now. I'm actually buying some right now, just so you guys know. What is that high? If we break that pre-market high or after hour high, I'll buy some. 31.34. IREN. Open the order book. Trade. But I wish I could show you guys throw in this order, but it's all mobile. This stupid platform doesn't exist on desktop. This is well simple. It's a Canadian Robinhood basically. 31.45. I'm gonna cross up to 31.45. 31.35. Can I just throw a limit order and then just buy limit order instead, because there's not much liquidity over here really. Yeah, let's just do that. Let me just throw a limit order instead of trying to buy the breakout and see if I can catch a fill. I'll throw it at 31.11. 31.11, and then we'll throw 5 million shares. Right, my order is out, and we'll see how it plays out tomorrow. So watching IREN for a day trade, for a swing trade, I would love for it to start holding above that price point. HUT8, monster move today, 14% to the upside. Not sure if it's at all-time high. No, this is another Bitcoin mining corporation company. It's similar to RIOT. It's similar to MARA. So getting above the most recent range high possibly takes it to the 52-week high. So watching this one also, I'd rather just wait near the $32 for HUT8, because either it gets above 32 or it fails at 32 and then pushes right back into 30. So I really don't want to dance around 30. If you want to dance around 30, feel free, but I don't want to dance around 30. I'd rather dance around 32. So I'll just wait for 32 to come into play on HUT8. Next stock on the board is Wolf. Wolf is making a 50% pop today after creating a very clean, tight flag after the earnings report. This is basically a episodic pivot in a way, right? So you got the episodic pivot, it held the earnings VWAP so cleanly, reclaimed the 9-day moving average, and now look at the stock in the after hours, up another 5%. Not the best thing to want to punch long here. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing, but it's not the best thing because the stock just ran up like what, 20% in 2 days. So I'd rather let it pull back and find more buying in this area or above this area, at which point, you know, I don't have to be worried about the stock breaking like it did and then pulling back, and then I'm stuck over here, right? So if it pulls back, I'm okay with getting long in this area and throwing a stop down over here. Or if it goes higher and then pulls back and finds buying over here, then I'm okay with buying and putting a stop somewhere here. What I'm not okay with is buying now over here and then watching it go all the way back and then have my stop here. I'm not okay with that. So I'm not going to do anything with WLF currently, but on the watch list, high priority name, recent episodic pivot, holding anchored VWAP, holding earnings anchored VWAP, and holding the moving averages also. All things are looking good on Wolf. BITF, for some reason these mining corporations are all making a run up. For example, BITF, HUT, did Mara and Riot go up by any means? Not really, slightly. I'm not sure what the catalyst is. Okay, Riot fucking ran up. Nice. Wow. What is the catalyst for these ones, guys? If you guys know why crypto miners are blasting off, maybe you can educate me a little bit. But they are all going up at the moment. I think the best chart is honestly BITF, because not only did it reclaim 200-day moving average, a fresh breakout, big volume on the chart too, recent IPO, the most volume traded ever in a day. So this is looking great. On a pullback and hold anywhere above 140, 150, I think BITF is the one I would love to really explore tomorrow if we get an opportunity on the dip buy side. And if we just break out above 160, then I think there is possible more upside. Granted, how other cryptocurrency stocks play out, you might want to watch Riot, Mara, and so on. Prad, talk to him. Thank you, sir. Prad, CNM was down, that lower outlook. I heard CNM was down today. Yes, but I didn't look at it at all. Let's go check out CNM. I don't see anything going on over here. Is this even the right name? There you go. CNM was down quite a bit today, 25% into levels that I previously traded. That's pretty funny. Yeah, big move down. Earnings report, that makes sense. Earnings report move. You could look for a day 2 trade on this. Short on pops, but I think there's better setups out there for tomorrow. Honestly, I didn't prepare for this one at all, and it's not a name that I have traded a much previously. But with a move like this, you could get a possible day 2. Look for a pop into 50. If CNM stays below 50, where is all the IPO, sorry, not IPO, earnings names? Here are all the earnings names. CNM looking for a pop into 50 and then staying below 50 for a possible day 2 short. Continuing down the watch list, we're already an hour into the stream. Thank you for watching so far. If you haven't already, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're trying to grow this channel, or I guess I should say we've been trying to grow this channel for quite some time now. Where's the Pump Fun page? Did the Pump Fun page close itself? Oh, there it is. I thought the Pump Fun page closed itself. Are they buying my coin? I don't even know if they're buying my coin, chat. I guess they did buy the coin. How many holders do we have? 1, 2, 3 holders. And then I think that's me. I think that's me. How many viewers do we have on Pump Fun? 11 viewers. That's more than YouTube. Let's go. Is anyone in the chat though? You bot. Okay. Currently, no one's typing in the chat except for me, apparently. Yo, you bots, I like it. Yo, Pump Fun's actually funny. Coming back to the watch list, though, you know, hit the like, hit the subscribe, all that fun stuff. Check out my affiliate sponsors down below in the link. What am I missing? That's pretty much it. Next part of the watch list over here is basically the everyday go-to names. So maybe before we go to that, I want to quickly talk about some of these names over here. For example, Tempest AI. Tempest AI pulled back today a little bit and then bounced, so that's a good thing. Unity is going crazy at the moment. 3 green days in a row for Unity after a recent breakout. You have, I actually need to put Unity on this watch list over here also. Oh, I do. Okay, good. On top of that, Western Digital still keeps on going. Can't stop, won't stop. Western Digital. STX, Seagate Technologies also continuing to go upside. These stocks are not really moving the way that a parabolic mover would move. They're moving slowly on light volume, and they're just gradually increasing day by day, day by day, day by day. So it's not really the setup that I want to see, whereas where the stock goes absolutely crazy, brings in a ton of volume, and then goes parabolic and capitulates like this. So maybe I don't want to keep stocking these names for a first red day short, but you know, this one, insane. Wow. Western Digital still going to keep stocking it nevertheless. Reddit looked weak yesterday, looked okay today, not bad. Okay, looked weak yesterday, looked better today. Trying to push back into the all-time high over here on Reddit. A-Lab made a new all-time high yesterday. Shout out to A-Lab. A-Net's looking good also. All these stocks that we have on our watch list, man, and they're just looking amazing. China, we talked about China last night. Look at Baba. Look at Baba. Look at Pinduoduo, right? Look at Baidu. I told you Baidu might not be the one to put your money to work tomorrow, because Baidu has made a little bit of a run up, more of a run up than the other ones. So Baidu might not be the one to look for on the day today. And was I right? I was. FUTU. Look at this one. Look at TIGR, right? So shout out to you. To listen to me if you pulled up to my stream. It's that easy. Just pull up to my streams, listen to your boy TraderPrad. Sadly though, you know, I have to put in the disclaimer, not financial advice. Everything I say is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not licensed. I'm just simply showing you how I trade, how I process information on the market, on the stocks, and how I look to trade said information. There's a million ways to trade. Maybe you resonate with the way I trade. If you do, you know, shout out to you. If you don't like the way I trade, but you see a couple things that make sense to you, then you want to extrapolate those things and make it fit for your trading style. For example, Dieter. Dieter is a great example. Although he doesn't talk to me anymore, he hates me now. You know, Dieter is a great example because back in the day, Dieter and I used to share a lot of strategies with each other. And then within those strategies, you know, he would show me something new, I would show him something new, and then I would be like, oh, I really like that, let me take that, and then I would make that work within my setup. And then sometimes he would send me something and I'd be like, no, I don't like that, I don't really want to use that, so I don't take that at all. And then you know, it's fine because he's still helping me, he's helping himself, and together we're growing and getting better. So it's just it's just a mutual relationship, learning how to trade, showing you how I trade, and then you show me how you trade, and then together we all grow, right? No gatekeeping information. Lulu, the shirt that keeps on falling. Yeah, I mean, I did say Lulu is expected to go to what, 150 or so. It's nice little breakdown tomorrow on Lulu if it comes into play. Actually, that's a pretty good setup over there. Below 163, would open up some pocket on LULU. So you might want to put that one on your watch list. Thank you, PH, for reminding me, because we get below 163 and stay below it, that could open more downside. However, it would be day 4 of earnings day, and really there is no day 4 play out there. Couple earnings, or not earnings names, small caps or large cap names that I want to quickly go over before the end of the stream here. Nvidia, trying to start making a move back into the 9-day average, and like I said, if we start getting back above the 9-day average, there could be some good moves coming in for the market overall. AMD apparently made a pop today, very tiny pop, insignificant. INTC looking very good on the daily chart for a possible breakout. Even on the weekly chart, if you go to the weekly, here's INTC. Intel possibly getting above 26, 27, could make Intel great again. We'll see if it sets up that way. The reason why I'm saying Intel great again is because didn't Trump take a stake in Intel or something like that? AVGO, recent earnings mover, holding the earnings anchored VWAP, not bad at all. Could possibly buy some shares around this area, risking the earnings day low for a move back into earnings day high and more. And granted how bullish the AI sector currently looks with the Oracle earnings report, and Nvidia trying to go back up, and Micron looking to break out, you know, all these things considered, SMCI also actually had a monster move back up today. I wasn't gonna include SMCI on the watch list yesterday because the volume was low, and I guess I screwed you guys over on that, because had I did involve SMCI on the watch list yesterday, you would have been able to possibly capitalize on that move right there, right? So sometimes, you know, you should not just estimate things. You should just cover everything and then be ready for all situations. So I screwed you guys over on that one. I apologize, but hey, I'm covering it now. So given how market is looking to bounce, given how QQQ is right back into all-time high territories, given how markets, both QQQ and S&P 500, have reclaimed the 9 and the 21-day moving averages, this is not a bear market. Bear markets don't happen above 50-day moving average. For a second, it did look like bear markets were going to start because we were tickling the 50-day and trying to see if we're going to trade below the 50-day, but immediately bounced right back up. So no, I don't want to hear recession yet. I don't want to hear bear markets yet. Prad, have you noticed the last 3 earnings report always miss big each time? Nvidia, I'm guessing you mean? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. I don't really focus on patterns like that because I think, you know, those things don't have any value. Earnings reports actually move off of their reports, not because of what happened in the past. So I personally think there's no value in looking at the market or looking at a stock in that type of a lens. The only lens that I do look at for the past earnings reports are how big of a move did they make on past earnings reports. That's an indicative way to look at the stock. That's a pretty good indication for you know, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes, right? That's a pretty good way to see how the stock could move, how volatile it could be. But just because they reported red last 3 times, or like, you know, how people do these voodoo sciences, oh, it reported 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green, it will report 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, maybe it's got to report the 5th one red too, and then anyone who bet on that, they got completely destroyed, right? So things like that, I don't really like to trade off of things like that. There's actually a lot of large cap and QQQ futures traders who trade like that. They trade off of historical stats. I don't like to trade off of historical stats. For the large cap at the very least. Small cap historical stats make sense because that's a different game. That's a whole different game. Large cap historical stats, it's like, it's not, I shouldn't say it's not an edge. It is an edge. There is a historical statistical edge behind trading, you know, history and so on. but it's not a real edge that I want to be involved in. There's better edges out there. There's better EV trades out there than a historical edge, so I just don't like to look at it that way. Jamie was talking today saying that maybe going into a recession is what you were talking about. No, I'm not talking about going into a recession. We are far from going into a recession, man. QQQ is at all-time highs. IWM, for fuck's sake, is breaking all-time high. Like, how are you going to say recession, right? The small cap market is stone's throw away from all-time highs. You can't be saying recessions out there, you know? It's just impossible. When you have ridiculous stocks going 2,000% to the upside back-to-back days, I don't want to hear a recession. All right. Large cap stocks very much on watch. I think Palantir is looking very good at the moment. We just looked at the Palantir chart briefly. Palantir is looking great for a move above 163.20, so keep a watch on that. Let's just say 163 to 163.50. If we start seeing buying in this zone on Palantir, this is basically creating a generational move back into all-time high, I feel. So watching Palantir to reclaim the earnings anchor VWAP over there. Robinhood pushed into the all-time high a couple days ago or yesterday, and now trying to get above the all-time high. Let's see if the trajectory and the momentum is still in the stock. I told you what, 118 is what I want to see the stock holding above. It struggled to hold above 118 today, but it managed to get above 118 much later in the day. So I'm not sure if this is bullish enough to start looking long just yet. It could easily pull back to today's VWAP. Look how today's VWAP is actually the pre-market low. I was talking about this yesterday. Math, the way math works out, the way these levels just combine and work are beautiful. Amazing. Ani came here, make trouble, been a while. Was Ani here? I didn't see her. No, I didn't see Ani. Just the way these numbers and math works out is beautiful. They did manage to hold 118 later on in the day, and that's still going to be the main key level for me. If you're not holding 118, there's really no trade there. Baba is now a little too far gone to start along if you're not in it already. Boohoo, sad story. Wait for dips. Right? I've been screaming Baba since from what, 125? And if you didn't go long all the way up to 145, I don't know what to tell you. Why are you even watching my stream? Stop watching me. Go do something else, because you clearly don't want to make money. You don't want to make profits, right? If you didn't buy in this area when I was buying it, I don't know what the hell to tell you anymore. And right now, this is in a resistance pocket. Possibly some selling coming in off of this resistance. Time for me to take some profits and then buy back on the dips. So watching Alibaba currently play out, just let it do its thing. 150 is the zone that I'm keeping an eye on for the upside. The rest of the China stocks I'm not really too interested in, because Alibaba is my go-to at the moment, and FXI, the large cap Chinese ETF, is my barometer that I'm always keeping an eye on. That one's resistance right now is at $40. Prad banned Ani from chat back in the day. Does mean back a while ago. I did not ban her. What are you talking about? Why would I ban her? What the hell? JD follow through. I think, yeah, but I don't really care about JD. JD has one of the most ugliest charts that I've seen in the Chinese sector. The most ugliest charts. I mean, yes, it's trying to go back up, but this is a lagging stock at this point. If I want to play Chinese names, I'm looking at Chinese names that are actually strong, that are at their 52-week highs, that are at their all-time highs. I don't want to care about a stock that struggled while all of these were blasting off. It's just not the way to trade. You know, you're watching the wrong names. Why are you looking for sympathy when it didn't have a proper sympathy to start with, right? It didn't have a proper sympathy when all the China stocks were blasting off. And now it's playing catch up when all of them have already blasted off. That's not how you want to trade. If you are looking long in the China sector, you gotta wait now. You gotta wait for a pullback or a different setup. TIGR doesn't look too bad, But buying JD here looks ridiculous to me. That looks stupid. Right? Wait for a buyback. Wait for a different setup. Wait for it to get back above the 200-day moving average. Buying here just means your stop is here. You're risking all the way back down there. That's stupid. That's brain dead. Right? So you don't want to do that. I don't like JD at all because of that. Talked about some of these large cap names already. They are all looking good. Some of the other large cap names in the Magnificent 7 area. Tesla had a little bit of a sell-off candle today. Didn't really look the way I wanted to, but still waiting patiently for the breakout over there. Did Microsoft break down today? Nope. Looks like it's still gonna hold a little bit. Not bad. No trades here, honestly, guys. You know, there's no setup. There's no trade on any of these. There's better trades on what? Palantir, on Robinhood. Actually, let me color Palantir purple. There's better trades on Palantir on these baskets. The large cap names are just simply not showing me anything good to day trade at the moment. Amazon, maybe there's something here, but you know, if you're a day trader, you gotta watch stocks that are actually giving you momentum. You're a momentum trader. If you're a swing trader, that's a whole different deal. You know, you're buying on the dips, you're selling on the rips. You're a swing trader. If you're a momentum trader and you're a day trader, you want to play stocks that are actually having intraday momentum, intraday volume, a fresh catalyst, and those are these purple names that I have highlighted for you. Okay, the purple names. So keep an eye out for that. Besides that, since you guys didn't really throw any other names in the watch list, I know Michael threw 2 names and I kind of shit on both of them. Well, I shit on one of them. But SMCI, yeah, that one's not looking too bad at all. Let me scroll up in the chat, see if anyone else has typed anything. Nvidia, Apple, we talked about that. I don't really see a day trade on either one of them, but both of them are looking fine for the swing trade, for the long, that is. Boeing, currently holding earnings anchored VWAP, very much in a box, in a sideways, testing the 50-day moving average. If it breaks the 50-day moving average, that's when things could start looking ugly. But the stock hasn't really gotten below the 50-day moving average ever since its earnings report on April 23rd, 2025. So that's a pretty good indication. If it does break below 50, then that's a change of characteristics. So you want to be very careful, obviously, with looking for a long once it does that. Good things never happen on the market, on stocks, below the 50-day moving average. And horrible things happen below the 200-day moving average, okay? So just keep an eye out for that. I think buying in this area, if you're looking to buy some shares, is not the worst thing, but your stop is somewhere down here. Your stop is here, and then your stop is here. So if you're okay with those stops, go for it. I just don't care about Boeing. I'm a big Boeing hater. You guys know me. Why do I even hate Boeing? I don't even know. I have no reason to hate Boeing. I'm just a Boeing hater. You know, and because of that, I just don't care about doing anything with this name right now. I do love money though. You know, I'm a big Apple hater too, right? But that doesn't mean I don't like money. I own Apple shares. I don't own Apple products. So if there's a trade setup, I will for sure look to join that setup on Boeing. Don't see anything else that I want to quickly talk about. So I'm going to go to the next segment, last 3 segments on the stream here. It's IPO segment. We talked about this in depth yesterday. So if you missed out yesterday's stream, I urge you to go check it out. I'm just going to quickly run through all the details. I think last time I checked, the stock was like 5 times oversubscribed or something like that, or maybe 15 times. I forget what I read today. 5 or 15, somewhere in that range, oversubscribed. Tomorrow pre-market we'll not pre-market, tomorrow throughout the day we'll find out how oversubscribed it actually is. Expecting to open between 30 to 37. I think it opens somewhere around 40 to 45, and then you know, the trade setups will will show themselves for us to participate in. It does have a PE ratio, a very, very expensive PE ratio. It is profitable and it is growing. So all things to be considered out there on Klarna, CLAR. And since this is a New York IPO, a New York stock exchange, not on the NASDAQ stock exchange, do keep in mind that this stock can open pretty late. It's probably going to open anywhere between 12 to... What? StubHub is also IPOing? Oh my god. DT House? What is that? Okay, that's nothing. I already looked at FIGR. We'll talk about FIGR tomorrow, so tune in for that. StubHub is IPOing. What the hell is NTSK? What the hell is WBI? Wow, we would chat. That's all I can say. StubHub, NTSK, and WBI. Putting that bad boys in my Discord so I don't forget about them when they come in. 3 new big IPOs announced for this month. What a crazy IPO month. IPO season. IPO season. IPO season. Ladies and gentlemen, last time I made crazy amount of money was the same market environment where IPOs are dime a dozen, where stocks are squeezing 2,000% in a day. DWAC happened in a similar market environment. Okay, so these are the market environments to make money. You don't want to be messing around, wasting time, playing games. This is the time where you sit up in your chair, ready to game. These are gaming hours, okay? Gaming hours, chat. So go out there, make some money. Hot IPO season. We'll talk about some IPOs coming out tomorrow. That's FIGR. Make sure you're on the stream by 4:30 p.m. Last but not least, the economic calendar. Tomorrow we have PPI, and then after that you have the CPI. So Wednesday, core PPI along with the 10-year auction note, along with the Atlanta GDP numbers. PPI, all very important obviously, along with the CPI. That's on Thursday. That's at 8:30 a.m. and then 1 o'clock you have the GDP number and the 10-year bond auction note. That was the last 3 segments. Was it 3 segments? What am I missing? I know I said 3 segments. IPO, econ calendar. We already talked about the earnings calendar. What am I missing? I guess that's basically everything she wrote. If I'm forgetting anything, chat, let me know. But yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote for tonight's stream. A nice, again, 1.5 hour stream. Right now, these streams are only an hour and a half, which is not that bad. But once we start getting a big earnings basket again, our streams are gonna go like 2 hours, 3 hour long streams. It's gonna be insane. We're gonna have to be talking nonstop for so long. My throat's gonna dry. I'm gonna end up talking like this at the end of the day. Anyways, chat, thank you for coming. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you found some good trade ideas, if you found any opportunities that you think you can make some money on tomorrow, share it with your friends. Let them know where you found it from. Follow me on all of my social media over here: YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Oh, I need to add Kick. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Patreon. If you want to support me on Patreon, feel free to do that. Here are my affiliate sponsors: Flash Research, Benzinga, TraderSync, Traders Insight. My affiliate sponsor links for Cobra Trading and Finviz are currently being worked on, so those will also be added over here. And last but not least, if you're a day trader and you did not check out this link below, you're missing out. On that note, TraderPrad out. Go make money tomorrow. I'll catch you guys 4:30. Peace.